ChatGPT is going to revolutionize academia. It's going to completely change it from the inside out. And I hope it is going to be the change that we actually need. So if you think about academia, we have this sort of idea that you need to work harder, faster, more, and push towards something that somebody else is going to beat you towards. There's this idea that there's competition. And yet ChatGPT is eroding the competitive advantage that everybody actually has. What this means, the artificial intelligence behind the software and the combined effort of being able to just talk to somebody and have an open and honest conversation with an AI that will actually provide reasonable information to you in a very quick and efficient way means that our competitive advantage in terms of competition with other people is going to disappear. Knowledge is no longer a competitive advantage. This is the first time that I can possibly say that. In fact, when I saw the effects of ChatGPT this week, when I actually interacted with it in a very solid manner, I completely changed the way that I thought that the world is turning towards. I thought this was far in advance and we would never get there for 20, 30 years. But the reality is it's here today. And people are going to start using ChatGPT in their research and academia. And it's not only going to have such profound effects on the tenure system that we could probably not measure tenure in the way that we think about it, but we're also going to have to change how we compete. We're going to have to change and sort of think about the ways that industry maybe competes, or how we might become nicer and kinder and encourage people to do things that are unique and different and unusual, that require a lot more insight in this world. Artificial intelligence and computer intelligence are never going to be able to do really good, interesting things in this world that require you to go explore, require you to go into the depths of something that is really, truly unique. Now, you can aid the artificial intelligence and get them to sort of suggest where can you go, what are areas that we have not researched, we don't understand that well. But the fact is that we're going to have to get people to go do things that we couldn't possibly do before. Go out into the wild to understand things and start interacting. Now, this also means that I think it's going to have revolutionary impacts on journal systems and things like that, because not only are we going to have overloaded reviewers very quickly, extremely quickly. I think in the next year or two, we're going to have an influx of people submitting papers that have been created very quickly. Many of them will be shoddy and not very good, but that's going to improve in the short term, perhaps in a decade. They'll become very good, that are generated by computer systems, with the aid, with the interaction with human beings. And that means that people can write much faster than we can humanly have done before. 10, 100 times faster. But the problem is computers or human beings are not computers. We can't process this information. We can't understand that. The review system where we send our articles to an editor and 3 reviewers to assess this is going to collapse. And this means that this whole system is going to have to rethink in some sort of way. I am glad that I'm building the Reciprocity Project to help improve this and make it better, but there's going to have to be a lot more tools and things like that to improve this and to change it in many ways, in many positive ways. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I do know that we are going to have to change the way that we do the review system. We're going to have to change many efforts in the way that we normally do the academic world. Now, if you are a PhD student and you're watching this and you haven't looked it up yet, you got to try it. It's going to revolutionize what you're doing. And I also think that there's going to be uncomfortable moments over the next 5 years and what this means ethically. What exactly is it? If I write something and I get an AI to assist me, is that AI the writer, or am I the writer? I don't know, and I can't figure this out in my head in terms of what this actually means going forward. But this is an intermediary step. This is the first time where I'm saying that. This is very much an intermediary step where we're going to go through a transition. Think of us as hybrid cars and hybrid engines at this moment, where we're going to work hand in hand with computers. But computers are going to outstrip our capacities very quickly, and they're going to do things very remarkably quick. So what does this mean for the long term, the very long term, a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades from now? I don't know. I think that we are going to go through a moment where we're going to experience far too many professors for the market needs at this moment. Just like how the Industrial Revolution in my hometown, there's a pulp and paper mill. There used to be 3,000 people that worked at it, 2,400 people to work and manage this pulp and paper mill. Now it is run by 400 or 500 people because of industrial tools that have improved this. And we're probably going to likely see the same sort of phenomenon within knowledge intensive industries. So what does this mean? This means that we're going to have to start treating employees a lot better, because they're going to have a lot more options when they go out into the real world and they pursue different things. It probably also means that the balance of power are going to go towards people that understand these machines a little bit and what it actually means in the future. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. This is the first time I'm absolutely baffled. I can't sort of forecast, because this is such a revolutionary change in terms of industrial production. The only things that we know that make industrial production work really well are capital, and so that's like money, knowledge, and labor. And labor is the only thing that's not really changing here. Energy production is going to go to zero when solar panel and renewables become extremely cheap, and that's happening very quickly. So I don't know what the long run holds. This is a whole new brave world, but I think we're going to go through some profound changes, not only in academia, but in the way that we interact with the world. And now if we're looking at 20, 30, 40, 50 years out, man, the world is going to be a lot different than it is today. That's all I can forecast. And I hope it's going to be bountiful and amazing and just as cool as one would think that it was looking forward from the 1950s onward. We have a lot to look forward to, and there's going to be lots of positive changes. It's scary. All of this change is very scary, and all of a sudden I felt like but it's all going to be remarkably positive as we figure this stuff out, as we figure perhaps maybe what we will do is we will do things that are very uniquely more human, like love other people, and we'll figure out a way to price the love of other people. Wouldn't that be cool? I don't know, but the world is changing, and it's for the better. Good luck, y'all. This is fun.